are we using the raise hand thing?
If you if you know where that's at and you would like to use it, yes, I am available to help you with that. And I think we would prefer just to, if you can, Rachel, go round robin and make sure everyone gets a chance to speak first before someone gets a second. And then I have begun the meeting video and the audio, and we're streaming live whenever the commission president is ready to open the meeting.
Okay, well, thank you, Katie. I think we're ready. So we will call this City Commission meeting to order. It is Sunday, April 26th at noon. This was a special emergency session.
The mayor is, I'm sorry, excuse me, the mayor is just now arriving, so I just wanted to let you know.
Okay. So I'll finish my statement. This was a special meeting that was requested by commissioners, and the mayor is arriving, so we'll give him a second to get mic'd up.
Have we done roll call?
So we have not done roll call yet.
All right, I'll call a special meeting to order for Sunday, April 26, 2020. It's 12 p.m. Call a roll.
Commissioner Rachel Lyle Smith.
Aye. Here.
Commissioner Rocky Smith.
Here.
Commissioner Denise McGriff.
Present.
Commissioner Frank O'Donnell.
Here.
And Mayor Dan Holliday.
Here. So under general business, we have 20-225, City Commission discussion of ordinance, Executive Order number 2012, Stay Home, Save Lives. Mr. Conkle.
Thank you, Mayor. Afternoon, Commissioners. Governor Brown's Executive Order number 2012, Stay Home, Save Lives. His order to Oregonians to stay at home, close specific retail businesses, and requires the social distancing measures for certain public and private facilities in response to the COVID-19 pandemic. Per Section 14, meetings of the Oregon City Charter. The mayor, upon his own motion, may, or at the request of 3 members of the commission, shall, by giving notice thereof to all members of the commission then in the city, call a special meeting of the commission for a time not earlier than 3, no earlier than 48 hours after the notice is given, which has occurred. The special meeting has been called to allow the commission to discuss Governor Brown's Executive Order number 2012 and to determine the official position of the city of Oregon City as it relates to the applicability of Executive Order 20-12.
Okay, so before we go any farther, let me explain what happened, because I think some outlets have mischaracterized what I did. Starting about a week and a half ago, I started receiving calls and then making calls to different mayors around the state, having discussions about the economic impact that this was having on our communities. And I was leaning towards making some kind of an announcement. However, through the week last week in discussions with Mr. Conkle and Chief Band and other senior staff, as well as the mayor's Metro Mayor's Consortium meeting on Thursday, I had decided, and Mr. Conkle can back this up, we hadn't written anything down, I hadn't made any announcements, I hadn't done anything, and had made the decision on Thursday afternoon that I was just going to sit back and see how things played out. Then on Friday afternoon, about 5:45, I got an email from the Attorney General with this rather threatening and bullying letter saying that I shouldn't be doing anything. And all I had really done was have discussions with other mayors around the region and around the state about how we thought things should be opened faster. So that's the background. Have at it. Commissioner Smith.
All right. I have a lot. So first of all, I appreciate the explanation from the mayor. But I would like to say that I'm extremely disappointed in the mayor's actions from the last couple of weeks and the last few days. and that I think that there's other people that feel the same way. I've served as a city commissioner for close to a decade, and I have never seen a mayor take any action that reached the level that this letter from the Attorney General points out.
What action is it that I took, Commissioner Smith?
Having conversations with, well, you actually clearly defined them just a minute ago. Conversations as mayor with other mayors. But the actions, comments, and statements from our mayor in the past several days and even weeks have put this city commission and the entire city staff, especially the city manager, his office, and the police department in a very uncomfortable and unnecessary situation. I'm hopeful that the mayor will take the opportunity today to make amends and join the commission in any action that we may take today. I know that the city manager has in last week participated in the governor's phone call about the governor's plan to reopen Oregon. And I know based on that phone call that that plan is based on a couple criteria, and that is that that there's a reduction of symptoms and new cases of COVID-19, and that the hospitals have the ability to treat patients without overwhelming intensive care units, and that we have a robust testing and contact tracing program in the state. Once those have been met, the economy will be reopened over 3 different stages that were outlined in that phone call. And I know that the city manager has been working with staff to draft a plan for how the city will address that and how the city will focus on opening city buildings, and all of those responses and plans are consistent with the governor's directives. So while that was taking place, we still had our mayor kind of having conversations about doing something other than that, and that concerns me. So my hope today is that we as a commission have a conversation, and my hope is that we direct the city manager to continue the work that he is doing with city staff to follow the guidelines set by the state and do a couple of things. First of all, I think we need to respond as a city to the letter sent by the Attorney General and make sure that a letter is sent to the governor as well, and that we issue a press release, and that press release contain both the letter from the Attorney General to the mayor and our response to it. And I hope that our letter would include at least the following things. The letter should include the fact that the city has followed the state COVID guidelines and directives and has been doing so ever since they were initiated. That the city plans to continue following those until they are lifted. Number 3, at no point has the city discussed or ever considered issuing a directive or a declaration allowing businesses or city facilities to open while the governor's orders were in effect. And that any phone calls, number 4, any phone calls, statements, comments, recommendations about the reopening of businesses or city facilities made by the mayor were done as a private citizen and not as the authority of mayor. And even if the mayor wanted to do such, he has no authority to do so without the support of the commission. And as far as I know, he does not have that support, and he never has had that support. So I believe it's important for us today to let the citizens know that, well, both the citizens of Oregon City and business owners of Oregon City, that we expect everyone in Oregon City to continue to follow the guidelines that the state has set out. And I'm hoping that today we can make that vividly clear.
Commissioner Les Smith.
Thank you. So I have a variety of comments as well, and I don't need to repeat some of the ones that Commissioner Smith said. I will say that I was on the call on Thursday as well with the governor. The governor spent at least an hour answering questions from a variety of local electeds and local government personnel regarding the reopening and the plan to reopen. I think it is in our best interest to return to work in a very thoughtful manner. And I'm happy to hear that the city is currently has a team in place to have that conversation about what it should look like within the city and for city facilities. And so I'm happy that it's moving forward in support and in alignment with the governor's framework that was provided. I saw the slideshow, it was provided on Thursday, and then the city manager forwarded it to all of the city commissioners as well. Regarding the letter, quite a few things to say. So just to make sure that everybody is aware. So as the commission president, you haven't seen the letter. If you look at the very end of it, you will see that I was CC'd on the email and the letter from the Attorney General, and it was addressed to Mayor Holliday. I think the Attorney General, my read of that letter is the Attorney General was clearly told that the mayor planned to issue a declaration to reopen business in Oregon City, regardless of the executive order. The letter is a clear response to that. I believe that the Attorney General would send a similar letter to any city in the state of Oregon who threatened to take action in clear defiance of the governor's executive order. I don't think it was anything personal. I don't think it was anything political, other than that I think the governor's office would have the same exact response to any city who was even talking about doing something in defiance. I will say, I do not have a problem with someone questioning the policies of our government. That is our right and duty as citizens of the United States and the state of Oregon. However, I believe that the process that the mayor decided to use to challenge the state policy has not been in the best interest of our city. If the mayor wants to question the constitutionality of the executive order or a piece of the governor's authority, then he should totally do that, but without using Oregon City as any leverage. I do believe that there are residents that support the mayor's questions regarding the governor's authority, declarations and city control. So again, I do have a problem with the mayor collaborating with other elected officials and other mayors. So the city manager participates with other and collaborates with other city managers. The mayors generally collaborate together. Clackamas County, our elected officials, I participate on C4. We do a lot of collaboration. So I don't have a problem with collaboration, but it's you have to be really clear that when you're making statements or that you're doing stuff that you're not representing a decision that has been made by the city, or maybe something that the city commission has not made a decision to do. For the email, once I learned last night that we were going to have an emergency session today, I did respond to the email that I received as a CC and as a commission president, replying and addressing the governor and attorney general. I thought that they should be aware of the meeting that we're having today to address the city's stance on the governor's executive order. The email also addresses the mayor's authority and inability to act independently of the city commission, and that we had not provided any direction to the mayor to make any decisions or to reopen the city. I did also use that opportunity to express concern for the economic impact of our community and the need to reopen as soon as possible. I'm happy to read that email if you would like for me to read that email for the record, if folks are interested. But I thought it was important that they know that the city commission was taking up this issue and that we were going to talk about it and address or make a statement about what the city's position was regarding the governor's executive order. For the record, I do support the governor's executive order and the city following it. I do not support the city reopening early. I think it needs to be a thoughtful and phased approach. I know the governor's office is planning to have a framework finalized by next week. So that's good news. I'm happy to hear that things are moving forward and you know, the conversations that are happening, like the one that happened Thursday, where there was lots of questions from local officials, they're providing feedback on this draft framework. And so I believe our city is represented in that, and the more questions and the more feedback that's happening by all of these local officials will essentially guide and inform the final framework that is implemented in Oregon. So with that, I will stop and let others either ask me questions or let me know about if you want me to read the email.
Commissioner O'Donnell?
I think it has value for the Commissioner Lyle Smith to read our response into the record as a matter of public record.
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I can speak afterward.
Okay. This was the email I sent last night at 8:11 p.m. Governor Brown and Attorney General Rosenblum. I am writing to let you know that the Oregon City Commission has requested an emergency session to be held tomorrow to address the actions of the mayor and to clarify the stance of the city. Currently, the mayor is acting without any direction from or the consent of the commission and does not have the authority to take action on behalf of the city without majority support. I can assure you that the city will be following the governor's Stay Home, Stay Live executive order and will not be opening businesses early. I'm hoping that our swift action within the next couple of days will resolve this issue. I do share the concerns of many local elected officials regarding our business community and the rising numbers of unemployed residents. We need for our city to return to normal as soon as possible. The economic impact of this event could have a greater toll on our state and our city than the virus itself. I am certain you have heard the concerns of many local officials and are taking this into consideration as you plan the reopening of the city. Sincerely, Rachel Smith, Oregon City Commission President. I will say that I made some very strong statements in there about following the governor's Stay Home, Save Lives order. And the reason I made those statements was after a conversation with the city manager, which told me that he had received calls from commissions asking for this to address this situation, which led me to believe that the commission was in support of the Stay Home, Save Lives executive order, including myself, and we wanted to make that explicitly clear. So I was pretty confident in how we were going to address this today because we wanted to make it very clear.
Commissioner McGriff.
What I have to say about it has already been said. I don't want to go back over it, but I'm confident that our city manager is working on a program and a plan, and I think we need to wait and see. And I also want to emphasize that there are 5 of us, and we need to speak as one organization, and I'll leave it at that.
Commissioner O'Donnell, you have anything further?
I do.
Go ahead.
I believe as background, everyone knows we live in uncertain times, and it's important that government does not contribute to those uncertainties or confuse the citizenry in any way. And I'm certain everyone recognizes it's unusual for a city commission to meet on a Sunday. And the why of that is simply because a recent news article created the impression, or it could be interpreted, that the city government of Oregon City was moving in a direction to violate the state's emergency orders and those orders were designed to control the spread of coronavirus and possibly proceed to open the city. And I believe that the outcome of this meeting will demonstrate today that that is absolutely not correct. As has been previously stated, there has never been a discussion among this commission to violate that order of the state of Oregon. And I think it's important for our people, our citizens, to understand, as has been stated by my fellow commissioners, that each member of this commission can certainly voice their opinion as a private citizen, but for any city government directed action, a majority of our commission must give support. And in short, no one member can legally represent that their personal opinion is a city government policy. So to restate what's already been stated, this city government, which I believe will be the outcome of this meeting, this city government has always intended and has complied with the state of Oregon's executive orders and the phased reopening of Oregon. And our goal as a government should be to reassure our citizens and the business community. And the commission understands, by the same token, the commission understands the need to support our most vulnerable citizens, and the commission understands the need for this city government to ensure the survival of our business community. And in that vein, if one were to watch tomorrow night, you will see the city commission meeting, which will plainly show the steps that we're taking to accomplish both these goals, supporting our business community and supporting our most vulnerable citizens. And that would be done while complying with the direction as set by the state of Oregon under Executive Order 20-12. I do think it would have value for the city to publish on our website both a slideshow referenced by Commissioner Lyle Smith and Executive Order 20-12, which was published as part of our reading material for today. And with that, I conclude my statement.
Okay, somebody have a motion?
Well, it's a simple motion to...
Yeah, I would like to make a motion. My motion actually is going to be a little more specific maybe, but the guidelines, basically the points that I laid out, I think we need to, as a commission, my motion would be to draft a response letter to the Attorney General and the Governor, which is pretty similar to the one that the Commission President wrote. I think that was actually pretty sufficient. But also a press release confirming that the city's viewpoint is to continue to follow the guidelines, and my hope is to add the points that I mentioned at the beginning of the meeting.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Further discussion? Call roll.
Commissioner Rocky Smith,
Aye.
Commissioner Denise McGriff,
Aye.
Commissioner Frank O'Donnell,
Aye.
Commissioner Rachel Lyle Smith,
Aye.
Mayor Dan Holliday.
Aye. Motion carries. Anything else?
No, sir.
We're adjourned.